I know you've been waiting for the last minute of this. We have the Saja dev team right here to talk business, talk safety, talk about the future, talk about development and production. I'm Adam Shelton, the host of this AMA, and we have Ken, the project manager of Saja. Welcome, Ken.
Good evening.
And yes, sir,
Thank you
down
for having
below.
me.
Yes, nice to see you. Absolutely. And yes, sir, right below. How are you doing today, sir?
Hey guys, how are you?
Yes, we are here to talk about some new developments and about Saja. The last time we were here, we were talking about Save the Lions, we were talking about the white paper, and we were talking about the Saja Defender. Now, what area do you want to start with this AMA? Ken, where would you like to begin?
Well, there have been a lot of developments in the last couple of weeks, and they haven't been too positive. It's been a very tough time for this space in the last couple of weeks. And, right now, sense of security is more important than ever. And that's why we want to introduce Saja Security. Underneath Saja Security falls the certification, verification, deployment services. Then, of course, that's called the Saja Seal. That's a new consultation service that we have launched as of now. And Saja Defender, which falls under, everyone's pretty familiar with Saja Defender. It's to identify potential scam tokens, but we're actually extending upon that by creating solutions for infected wallets. From demand from our community, that was a very important thing, as a lot of people are getting very, very suspicious airdrop tokens that they have to keep in their wallets. If they touch it, they get dusted. And we're trying to create a solution, a utility that's going to help create a solution for those infected wallets. So I'm going to leave the technicals up to Islam or Dev to speak on the details of that. If anyone has any questions, we could get started. But that's what we want to focus on tonight: the services that we're launching or have launched, and how are these services going to help Saja, our project? Because we're going to discuss how it's going to help us, because we're going to be monetizing off our services.
Right.
So that's what we're here to discuss tonight, to move our project forward and provide more sense of security in this space.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's talk about the technicals a little bit. Do you mind, sir?
I do not mind. All right. So the last time we talked about Saja Defender, we talked about having a service where it's a backend service that would be added to different wallets like MetaMask, Coinbase Wallet, and that would require the different, the different projects of like Coinbase Wallet, MetaMask to add this this feature into their wallet, so that way it would be used, so that way you could be notified. Now, even if I complete that service and it's available, it does not mean, we're still going to have that hurdle with these other wallets like MetaMask, and getting that particular feature in there for them to launch it or update their the app, so that way people can see those tokens, or that feature of that they have tokens that are invalid or possible rug pull. So instead of doing that and seeing how, even if we do that, we're not going to be able to detect a rug pull or a possible rug pull at launch. All right. At launch, there's a lot of hype in a project. People try to get in. They're not going to wait and check on a utility to see if this is a rug pull or not, because it's not going to know. And they would rather take that risk to see if they can get the reward, rather than wait and miss out on the opportunity if it's not a rug pull. So instead of doing that route, we're still in the back end. We are still scanning the contracts and looking up to see which ones are possible rug pulls or not. But we would create a service where you would sign up like a membership, and you would connect your wallet. So we have your wallet address. from your wallet address, we should be able to look at what tokens you have in your wallet, right?
Right.
And from those tokens, we would have those contracts. We can check if they're verified or not. And the ones that are considered to be honeypot tokens, we would know which ones are honeypots, and we can notify you like via email as an alert, because it's not going to be an app. It's probably a service. It's going to be a service that you would sign up for, and you would connect your wallet. So we have that wallet address, and then everything else would be done behind the scenes, and you'll be alerted if there's an issue. Now, let's say one of the other features is, let's say you have tokens that are the ones that, honeypots, that if you run a transaction, you get dusted, right?
Right.
So people want to get rid of them, but they don't know how. And you can't get rid of those tokens from your wallet because it's public and it's there unless you run a transaction, but that's not going to work because they're going to take all your tokens. So the idea would be to have a service or like a layer, a contract that we can move all of your tokens from all of your different investments from that bad wallet to a new wallet, basically kind of like a virus scanner.
Right.
We're just moving everything that's safe and secure into another wallet, and that would protect your investments. And usually, even if you want to do that manually, it's for a lot of people, it's a lot of work, and they would be worried to screw up, because if they do the wrong thing, they can lose everything. But this way, it would be secure because it would be a step-by-step wizard that should help protect the migration from the bad wallet to a new wallet address. So that's the goal with a Saja Defender. It'll be, like a subscription type of route. I'll let Ken talk more about that. But, those are the high-level technical features that we want to have. But I'm pretty sure we'll think of more ideas and more features that would benefit the community and just, crypto investors in general. So that way, they feel protected. Right now, I don't think anyone feels protected.
Right. And absolutely. And someone had a question here. It says, how is Saja Defender going to be different from the other similar projects like Token Sniffer?
Okay. So like I said, this is more of a, Token Sniffer. You go to their website, you put in the contract address. It's going to provide you, if it's, the risks. The difference is when you connect your wallet or you sign up, with your wallet address or wallet addresses, more than one wallet. And we have this running in the background, checking all of the different wallets with all the different contracts. We can, besides the contract level information, we would look for the top wallet holders to see if there's any risk of a rug pull, like a big dump, right? Which has happened a lot. It does not mean if the liquidity is locked that you're safe, or you have trust in the dev team, or if do you have a marketing wallet, or for exchanges. Let's say you have a marketing wallet for exchanges and other marketing needs. Well, let's say that marketing wallet is pretty large, and what's in the liquidity pool, let's say with a Uniswap V2, if it's not that big, what's in the liquidity pool, the marketing wallet or any other dev wallet can run a swap and take out all the ETH or majority of the ETH. And that has happened, and it keeps happening. And that's what's happening with, with that inside the Defender, we would at least be able to tell you the risk on the token. Besides the honeypots, we would, show which tokens have the higher risk based on the different data points that we've gathered. Exactly what we talked about in the first Saja Defender AMA. But now it's more as a service instead of being in a wallet.
Exactly. Yes, thank you for the super chat. And also, they were talking about gas fees. Won't you need to pay gas fees to move?
You have to pay a transaction, right? And that's normal, right? But instead of doing, let's say let's say you have 10 valid token that you want to transfer over,
right?
You would have to run a transaction on each one, right?
Right.
Instead of doing that, you can run one transaction, and knowing all of your list of contracts that you have, we would move whatever you have from that one address to the new one. So it would be in one transaction instead of multiple transactions. So you're going to save money on gas fees, but also save the headache of or the fear that you're going to do something wrong, right? And this is not something that we would launch without having fully tested it and making sure that we're not going to make a mistake. And this is not something that you want to play around with. You want to make sure that it's 100% different test cases, different scenarios. That's important. And also, if you look at the honeypots, what do they? They dust you, right? If you look at the transactions, the one transaction does multiple transfers. It's like a batch transfer, right? You still paid whatever the gas, but it's in one transaction. Same thing here. We would just do it, knowing all of your contracts, and we would just move all of them from one place to another.
Right, absolutely. And thank you for the super chat, Brown Town. Saja community loves Adam. Oh, I love the community. It's a very, very interactive, nice community of Saja. And yes, someone asked me earlier, I am a partner with them. I want to see this succeed, especially with this new ideas and saving the lions, and also with the Saja Seal and the Saja Defender and other things that's coming out. So I'll just let you know I'm a proud partner as well. And Ken, let's get back to you, Ken, as well. In terms of like what your main focus is when it comes to this transition, what's the number one thing that you're looking forward to doing going forward with these projects?
Well, basically, any utility or any services that we provide through our project has to benefit our project, benefit the Saja project in general, our community of investors. So we're looking for ways that we can maximize and monetize of our services, whether it's through this space or through the subscription space that Izan was talking about, through like the Saja Defender, where it's automatic reoccurring revenue. And we could actually make this into a real business revenue because we have an LLC set up, and that's one of the reasons that it was set up, so we could make this a legit business. And we've explored ways that we could really monetize off this and benefit the project at the same time. A portion of the revenues that we generate from our services and from our products are going to go towards buybacks. People love buybacks. We buy the tokens and we send it to the dead wallet, the burn wallet. So we're taking tokens out of circulation, and that's definitely going to help the project. Some of the revenues that we generate, we could shift to the marketing wallet if we need some more Ethereum to do some more marketing. You can never do enough marketing, and those things are very important because it's going to create multiple streams of potential income that we could utilize to help our project.
I like that. And then someone asked a question: would the Saja Seal have prevented the stealth fiasco? Would it help that?
I'm going to leave it up to Islam to answer that, but my answer would be absolutely.
Yes, that's.
I'll be transparent. I'm not going to go into details, but I'll be transparent. So with the Saja, not Saja, but with Stealth, they did reach out on Sunday, and I did try to help them with the testing. I did have concerns with the tokenomics and a few other things, and I did I did have recommendation that we should have a few days of testing. But long story short, if we ran it, we would have done all of our due diligence in testing and making sure everything is set up properly, and the level of confidence, needs to be 100%, to launch a token, especially with tokenomics that's not standard. It was their call, right? They have their control of what they want to do. But I gave my feedback. Now, with what happened to Stealth could have been prevented if everything was tested and everything went through the proper flow. But I've learned those mistakes, in past projects, when, Ken and I and Brendan started the first project, TCT. Everyone wanted things, yesterday, and you make mistakes. And I'll share this. When we launched the first and second TCT, I said we need time to test, but it was rushed, and mistakes happen, right? And that's why testing is very important. It's software development, right? You're not going to release an iPhone, let's say iPhone, iOS, or Android, or whatever software, without thorough testing to make sure that what you're releasing to the customer is tested and approved before anything else. Same thing here in crypto. It's the same exact thing. You're in software development. But it doesn't matter, because ERC20 tokens are, common contracts. There are steps that you have to follow through. You have to make sure that everything that you do is good, right? And it's not just Stealth. There's a lot of different projects out there that they do legitimately. They want to launch a valid token. They want to be legit, but because they screw up of not knowing all of the details of what you need to test for, what are the things that has to be done to make sure it's a successful launch. It ends up being screwy, right? And they end up having to either do refunds or airdrops, or just they quit. The project dies. So, we went through this multiple times. We went through this with TCT. We went through this with the first launch of Saja. We've learned the mistakes, and I've learned mistakes in trying to help projects, and those, some people end up not being the character that I thought they were, even if I got warnings from Ken.
Right.
But with this approach, there's a couple of things. It's not just me, right? Yes, I'm the technical guy. I know how to do things. I want to make sure that it's done right and safely for everyone, so that way, when people buy the token, they know it's not going to be a rug pull, and they know it's not going to be sellout. One of them. So to talk about the technical pieces of the Saja seal, besides me doing the deployment of the contract, I would verify the contract. If there are team tokens, usually there are, we want to make sure that they're locked. The wallet address is where they get the airdrop, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, whatever the agreement is. And it will be transparent to the community that these wallets are locked for this period of time. After this period of time, we have no control, because that's what we agreed to. At least it's transparent. Let's say for the first 3 months, it's clean, right? You have no fear of those wallets are going to dump. The other part, the marketing wallet needs to be multi-signature, right? So all the tokens need to go through that. How we set up the approvals, or how many members need to be part of the policy of approving the transfer, we still need to decide on that. And if we need to use like someone outside to, complete that transfer, still needs to be discussed, because multi-signature does not mean it's completely safe, because you can have 4 people who approve it, but those 4 people are like bad people. You just don't know, right? So the other part to make sure, it's legit, is that the plan is to do background, doxing them privately. We have their email address, phone number, picture ID. That's going to be a hurdle by itself, but at least we want to make sure whoever we're launching for, we are protecting not only the investors, but we're protecting ourselves from a rug pull. We can do as much as we can, securing the liquidity, securing team tokens, making sure that the marketing wallet is not too big, because the marketing wallet does not mean it's safe. They can dump, right? Those are all details that need to be worked out, but knowing what has happened to other projects, what we went through, what mistakes that we went through, is going to help make sure that projects that we launch are secure. And I know our community trusts us, and we're legit. We're trying to help people. So at least when people jump into a new launch, whether it's short gains or they believe in that particular project, at least we're making sure that it's successful and everything is done.
Yeah, and also, can Saja Defender assist with NFT rug pulls as well? Is that possible?
We never talked about NFT, but can you give me a scenario of a rug pull with NFT? Is it the same? I don't think it's that much different.
Right, that's what I'm thinking as well.
It's just a different type of contract with NFT. So at least the token would be ERC20, but then the NFT contract is a different contract, for the NFTs. But it's something we can definitely look into. If there's a rug pull that happens with NFT, that means there's a way to defend on it. So that would be something that could be added into Saja Defender.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And then, like, we were talking about the tokenomics before, all the benefits with that, and still the reflections of 13% is still there, and the burn at a launch as well as their docs project team. Obviously, we're getting docs. And can you talk a little bit more, Ken, about the tokenomics? I know we were talking a little bit about it. Can you add more to it than you didn't say before?
About the tokenomics of Saja?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so the tokenomics right now is 13% reflections. Whoa. Going straight to the investors only. So none of that goes to there's no percentage of that 13% reflection that goes to the charity or marketing wallet, although the charity and the marketing wallet participate in the 13% reflection. So every single wallet that's holding Saja gets that 13% reflection. 36 was burned at launch. Currently burned since October 3rd. And today is actually our 2-month anniversary since launch. 44% has been burned. So that's a little bit outdated because we made that about like a week and a half ago. So even in another week and a half, we burned another percentage point. And that's how fast it goes, because the burn wallet is getting the reflections as well. And the burn wallet is the biggest wallet.
Right.
So liquidity is locked until 2024. So you have no problems with rug pulls, and the ETH can't be pulled.
No problem with that.
The Ethereum can't be pulled. We're fully doxed. There's members in my community that has personally met me in person. So that's what I consider fully doxed. And that goes back to our verification process with Saja Seal too, because we're going for full transparency and dox steps. It's going to give legitimacy to their token launch when someone talks about the Saja Seal, and they will have peace of mind in the token. So it's going to create credibility because we got a third party, which is us. You know, we're doing all the verification, the certification of the contract, but the verification of all the members on the team, make sure they're real people, because someone could come and put a picture up, someone could do like a video like we're doing right now, but it doesn't mean they're fully doxxed. And a lot of these rogue devs are getting very creative with their scams, and they're finding new ways to stay a step ahead. So my definition of full transparency and fully doxxed is that you know that person as a real person. That doesn't mean that we're going to be releasing that information to the investors, but as a third party, we're going to compile that information and keep it on file. So if something goes wrong, then it will be released. So, there's no incentive on their part to do anything wrong.
Yeah, I mean, that's just full transparency, and that's what we're trying to do, is to prevent those as well. And I think this is a great idea, especially with this whole ecosystem of Saja. And there's other parts of Saja that hasn't even been talked about. Is that right? Like, in the future.
I think we keep growing. We keep coming up with different ideas. We keep changing, right? Mm-hmm. We have to adapt to what's happening, right? Initially, we were talking about Saja Defender where we, connects to a wallet, but now we completely changed that idea, not fully, but majority of it to membership. It evolved. I wanted to help, projects with launches, but it ended up hurting instead of helping. But you do see all of these rug pulls, and I talked to Ken about it, of the idea of let's do Saja Seal, right? We would be helping people, and at the same time, we'd be protecting the investors. And with all the rug pulls, I think it's the right time to protect the investors from that what's going on. The other part that's possibly going to evolve, if this grows to what we're hoping it would, just like they do audits. Maybe we can get the certification and we can audit and have that actual approval from Saja, like an actual certification that we approve this launch. So that way people know that everything's transparent. What are the team tokens? What are the marketing, which are the marketing wallets, and what's locked and what's not locked.
Absolutely. And we have a question here. Go Saja Crypto Empress. What's going on? And I have my Saja token on my Nano Ledger X. Why can't I see how much it's worth?
Can anyone answer that, or?
I don't know. I have no idea how to answer that question.
The token on my Nano Ledger X. Well, the best way, because we're, we are on CoinGecko, we're on CMC, how they do their calculations of when the price would show. I think it depends on how many ETH are in the pool before it actually shows a price. Usually, especially with new projects, whether it's Saja or any other project that has the slow market cap, usually you can just go on Uniswap and just put in the tokens like you're going to swap, and that will give you the value of how much ETH you would get back if you sold. That's the easiest and most accurate way to do it.
Sure.
Other ways of other services that the way they provide the prices, we have no control over that.
Right. And then how big is the Saja team? Can you answer that, Ken?
Yeah, so far, I mean, we're constantly looking to expand the team. So far, we have 5 members on the team. It's myself, Islam. We got Brandon. We got we recruited members for digital branding and website, and we also have a graphic designer. He's part of our team. So right now, I would say 6, but we're constantly expanding because as our project gets bigger, and if once we officially launch the services of Saja Seal, and get the Saja Defender utility out, we're
Right.
absolutely going to be needing to expand the team.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be a
And-
definitely need for that.
Right. And, Saja Seal is definitely going to be filling that void to prevent rug pulls and the failed launches. So it's going to cover everything that the space is affected by right now. And we're just trying to really adapt to the current crypto environment, because that's the biggest concern right now. Rug pulls, of course, those are intentional. Failed launches are they're more common than people think, but they could also be associated with rug pulls because people think it could have been intentional. It could have also been a failed launch. The hardest part of deploying a contract, as I'm sure Islam could attest to this, is figuring out the liquidity pool. It doesn't matter how good you are at coding, but if you never launched a contract before, to figure that out, it's very difficult. And you're testing with people's money. So, it's a service that I feel is needed in this space, looking at what's going on right now. And, we want Saja Seal to become the gold standard of certification and of developing trust. So when someone says Saja Seal, that means there's legitimacy to this project. Everyone's doxed, there's transparency, there's no risk or very, very extremely small risk of any wallet selling or rug pulls. There's never, ever 100% no risk in any investment. But we want to minimize that risk as much as possible. And it'll give peace of mind back to this space, because that's what's needed right now. It's time to heal and move on.
Absolutely. And as I look on here on phase 1, everything is knocked off the list. Is that right, kid?
Yeah, we're definitely ahead of schedule.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, we're working every day. We're developing every day. We're hitting things from multiple angles, from marketing, from branding. There's a lot of things going on. Yeah, even today, I just spoke with one of the representatives for another organization. It's for the Lion Whisperer. And Lion Whisperer has like 4 million followers on all the social media channels. I had a very good call for almost an hour with the representative. I'm going to be getting on the call with Kevin Richardson himself sometime in the near future.
Nice.
And develop some collaboration. Just like I started with WCN. It started with a phone call, an idea and a phone call. I got to talking with the director of the LRF, which is a Lion Recovery Fund. We got the official logo rights. We made that $10,000 donation and made it legit. We created utility because we're actually using our tokens or our profits, our tokens that we have in Charity Wallet, to create a solution in the outside world to help. In this case, it's the support of the Lions, because that's our brand and that's our mission. But at the same time, when we partner with these large, credible organizations, we benefit by getting some credibility ourselves.
Right.
We establish credibility, and we get a lot of exposure as well. And that's what it's about. Feel good about helping something, supporting something, and at the same time, our investors could grow our project, and we could make money in the process.
Absolutely.
And to extend on like the Saja Seal and the Saja Defender, the great thing about this is that this is going to be helping our project substantially, because we're going to be finding ways to monetize of all these services. It's not just a service that we're just going to put out there, but how does our project benefit from it so we can monetize off it like a real business? And I think that's what differentiates our project, our utility, from any other project that's come before, of just creating a simple utility, because we're looking for ways to monetize off it and grow our project at the same time.
Man, this is a great idea, and it's really patience the key. Yes, Crypto Empress, love you. Patience is the key, and the fact is, the project has not been out that long, and it's already making progress.
Yep.
We've been making some progress, but I think we're still far from where we could be, the potential that we have. to not just talk in terms of the price of the token and the valuation,
Right.
but what value we could bring to the space. What value can we bring to the wildlife, to the lions, the support of the lions? You know, collaborating with these organizations and making it real for them. And, you know, that's important. The price will follow, you know, as we get visibility, as we get more exposure, and as we get more credibility. You know, we're going to be linking up with influential people, maybe some famous people, maybe some celebrities that support the cause. And, you know, that's the vision that I have. You know, when I have a vision, I think big. You know, we're going to create a big business. You know, we're gonna link up with celebrities, and we're going to get the exposure, and we're going to get the ambassadors. And that's what you need to do. You need to just keep hitting the ground running every single day. You know, this is a very difficult space. There's a lot of competition, but at the same time, I don't really think we have that much competition.
No, you got something very unique and very the utility with the Saja Defender and that seal is definitely completely puts you guys apart from a lot of projects.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard too many talked about this in depth. And have you guys at all? Just based off my research, I haven't.
About the Saja seal?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I mean, Saja seal is an idea that we just came up with like 2 days ago, like in the mid this week, because we just saw.
Come on,
we just saw the need. You know, like any business ideas starts because there's a need for something, right?
Right.
You know, if you look at any millionaires or billionaires that made it big in business, they created, you know, they filled a void for a need, something that was needed. In this space, what's needed right now is security. That sense of security is so low in this space, everyone's scared to invest. Right? You know, it's really destroying, you know, the decentralized crypto environment, and we need to fill that void. So that's where Saja Security is going to step in. Saja Seal will become the gold standard of certification and verification. And think about this. As we get going, I mean, we already have inquiries coming in. So we already started. We haven't started actively helping yet, but we have inquiries coming in. And for some reason, everyone's contacting Islam all the time to launch contracts anyway. So
yes,
so the need was there.
Know that. You know everybody's trying to contact you.
Right, and the need was there. But then I told Islam, you got to be careful who you associate with, right? Because you don't want it to come and affect us on our main project. And finally, now he understands. And, you know, we had this idea, how do we help people, really help people? Because sometimes you think you're helping people, but you bring more harm to them, right? Because you're associating with the wrong people and you don't have total control over the contract or the launch. So we came up with this idea because of the need. Now, you have the need and we had the demand because everyone was approaching Islam to deploy the contracts, right? We have one of the best devs around from Saja. So everyone's approaching him. So we have the demand. The need and the demand creates business. So that's how we monetize off it. And imagine this. Now we get going 6 months later, you know, we have help with say like 10 or 15 contracts, you know, whatever the number is. What's that going to do to the space? It's going to fill that void that the space lacked, that sense of security, because that Saja gold standard is going to make sure that these 15 contracts that are launched are actually, they're verified and they're certified. So they're not going to be rug pulls at least. They're not going to be dev wallet selling out. Like all the stuff that's happening right now, we're going to have a verified and docs dev team, at least through our services, a third party. And there's going to be no motivation on their part to do any harm, you know, when we have all their information, or very little motivation, unless they're really not intelligent people. So, you know, we're going to work with good people that really do want to launch successful contracts, but lack the resources to do it. And 6 months from now, what I see is a much safer space.
Right. I do.
That's my goal. That's my goal, and that's my vision.
I do.
And, you know, we look to execute that.
Yeah, and also looking at phase 2, that I'm seeing what the Saja merchandise. I think that would be very interesting. People have been asking about Saja merchandise for a little while now.
Right, right. So, that's part of like marketing and branding. Of course, like, merchandise is good. You get the hoodies, you get the t-shirts and things like that. It's probably mostly going to be clothing related. People want to represent their project, and, it gets the name out there. It's branding. And that's part of it. We have the merchandise on the way. There have been some delays because of the logistic issues, because of the pandemic. As people who are in the wholesale business, they know it's hard to get merchandise. It's hard to get containers from overseas, especially garment. And people in the garment business, they know that what's going on. So we do have merchandise on the way, and there's going to be some exciting plans for that as well. We do have plans to monetize off that as well too, because we're selling it. But at the same time, that's not going to be a big part of our revenue. That's more for branding. The big part of our monetizing for revenue would be the Saja Seal and the Defender. And Saja Seal is immediate revenue coming in because we charge for our services. It's a consultation, deployment, everything's paid up front, and that's the revenues coming in up front. Now the Saja Defender is very interesting because once you get that running, it could turn into a massive subscription service. We're going to be really concentrating on the utility, and we're going to make sure it's protected. That's why we have a trademark lawyer on retainer right now. That's also another thing. LLC, we set that up. I set it up through our attorney. We have an attorney counsel on retainer that's going to help us to protect our brand moving forward. As a matter of fact, I met with our accountant today. So, we're going to need that. We're going to need that because we have an operating agreement in the LLC. We're all going to have, if we make some profits, we got to get some K1 distributions, and we got to file taxes, right? At least that portion of the outside revenue that's going to be coming from like the subscription service. And it could start small. But, these small subscriptions, they add up, and it's reoccurring revenue on a monthly basis. That's going to create consistent revenue. So it's going to be two different types of revenue that we're focusing on: immediate revenue and slow but consistent reoccurring revenue. And on top of it, the merchandising. But again, the merchandising is mostly for the branding purposes.
Absolutely. I love the idea of using it as memberships and that utility. That's a great idea. Is that something you guys have been talking about? Because I can see other
2 days.
Yeah. So I'll tell you exactly how this happens.
It's a great idea because companies be lining up for that. I'm telling you, once it's tested and out there, they'll be like, you got to go through this process. Hey, if you need me to be involved, I will be involved somehow. Absolutely, to help with this. No question.
Right. No question. So I mean, it's a very new idea, but business starts with an idea.
Right.
And when you have an idea, a lot of people, they have ideas for business, but they don't know how to execute it. I'm the type of person, when I have an idea, I want to execute it from the next day. And same with Islam. And that's what we do. We already started executing. We got inquiries on the Saja Seal coming in already. We're starting to vet them. We're starting to have the initial consultation. I mean, it's not like an overnight process, but it's going to take a couple of weeks to vet, to docs, to do the smart contract, to deploy and make sure that everything's done correctly, especially if it's our first or second case. But if we target at least like say 2 launches per month, that's a very valid business revenue for us. And it's a very good service for the space because we're putting back into space among all these tainted contracts and rug pull and all these bad scam contracts, good contracts.
Right.
Safe contracts, certified contracts. And we want to get to a point where our contracts make up the majority of the space. That's our goal in terms of like the security, Saja security, what we provide. And of course, let's benefit our project and we monetize off that. So
one more thing.
That's an idea we had a couple of days ago, but especially the subscription service, like you're saying, Adam, it starts small. It's like Netflix. They charge like $7 a month. It's small money, but you get 10,000 subscribers, you get 100,000 subscribers. it becomes a multi-million-dollar business. And that's what I have in terms of vision for, right now it's called Saja Enterprises LLC. And that's one of the reasons that we set up that LLC and the operating agreement, because we see this as something much bigger than just a token in this decentralized space. You know, we could take it outside as it evolves, want to do something differently. You know, we look at the success of some of the other projects out there, but you know, we could even do something that they're not doing and make it even better. So you always want to strive to improve yourself. You know, it's good to compare yourself against successful projects, but then how do you do even better than that? So we're trying to take it one step further, not copy them, but find something where we could provide real value to them, not just an imitation of what they're doing. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to show the space something that's unprecedented up until now.
Right. And one more thing to add, as far as you know, the Saja seal with the contracts. It's not only just a contract, because a lot of contracts out there are copy paste with a few modifications. It's more of people have an idea, they get the hype, they launch the contract, and they do the rug pull or whatever they do, and the project doesn't go anywhere, right? And that's what we really want to prevent. You know, there's custom tokenomics, but then there's standard launches, the standard contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure how the tokens are distributed, being locked, you know, team tokens, making sure everything's locked and there's no possible way that they will cause a rug pull. That's what we want to make sure, that every project that is launched has legitimacy of, you know, what's being exposed by that team. Unfortunately, today, you know, a new Telegram is set up, Twitter set up. We have this new token. This is the tokenomics. You know, people get invited. You have the hype. People think they're gonna go in and they're gonna, you know, 10 times, 20 times or even 100 times their money. Sometimes it works. A lot of times they lose. They lose because it's an immediate rug, or it could be it goes up and then you can't sell. Whether it's a bad tokenomics, you know, because it's custom, or whether it was purposeful, where you buy as much as you want, you just can't sell, and then by the time you can't sell, you know, they can pull out the liquidity.
Sure.
Those are the things that actually happen. It's not just a launching of the contract. It's what's behind the tokenomics, or what's behind the project itself. You know, we also, one of the other things that forgot to talk about is making sure that the website is legit. The white paper, there is a white paper. There is some, you know, an idea that is supposed to, it could be something, right? It could be good, or it could be bad. We don't know, right? But at least we can see if it's actual, it makes sense as a project, right? Because we don't want, as well, we don't want to launch a token for someone or a project or a team when we don't even know the token, or we don't know what the project is. If we have the white paper, everything is going to be transparent. We will show the white paper, we will show the website, everything before launch. And that way people know what they're getting into, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do our best to make sure we reduce that particular stress on a lot of people. You know, you could be buying in a team, you know, they're legit, but there are things in the background, or, you know, you're not going to know whether the dev is a good person, or even a good developer, right? And let's talk about dev. I'm talking about an actual programmer who's writing the contract. If they know what they're doing, that's very important, because sometimes you think you know who you're talking to, and they could be not. They could be using a tool. Like, there are tools out there where you can launch a contract and you just screw everything up, and that does happen. So have to be careful, and that's what we want to do to prevent not just a contract, but the team themselves having too many tokens where they can cause dramatic effect.
Right. We had a few questions. It says, how will Saja handle failure cases related to the Saja seal?
Okay, so we did talk about that. Now, we have experience with that too, right?
Right.
We did launch Saja first. We had it was custom, it was rushed, right? And we had to do airdrops. We went through that. So it takes more work, right? Because now, like with the failed launch, you have people that lost money. You probably have to do airdrops. Doing refunds of ETH, it's one, it's a lot of work, and second, you're going to lose a lot of money just in transfer fees to each person. Let's say you're doing 100 people or 200 people, $10 per person just on transfer fees from ETH. It's not feasible. It can just ruin the project, because people get their money back, or half of their money back, or whatever it is, and they're just gonna probably not invest and move on, right? So we need to make sure that understand what happened. That's the first step, is understand what happened with the failure. Identify all of the wallets that have failed or lost money in the project, and then we calculate how much for the airdrop, so that way everyone is repaid by tokens, so that way at launch they can either sell when the price goes up, or they hold on and then make they can keep that investment, knowing that it's secure, and they're gonna hold it for the long term. That would be up to the person, but that is what we would do, is identify the wallets for the airdrops, identify what needs to happen, and go through all the details of what happened and how we can make sure that it's successful and reducing the risk of another failed launch. Relaunches, a little bit more work than first launches. First launches, you have no airdrops, there's no issues. Relaunches, there's distribution of tokens. How many holders are you going to distribute? That also costs money, right? Because you have to run airdrops. That's the transaction. There's a limitation of how many you can do per transaction because of gas. So all of that would be discussed. Yeah, I went through it. We went through it. I know what it takes. It's a lot of work, but we know what it takes to get it done.
This is interesting. Does the Saja Defender warn you to take action if it scans something it consider a scam token, or does it automatically remove it from the wallet?
Yeah, we cannot remove it from the wallet, right? Because that's like running a transaction on that, which would be an issue, right? Because it can dust your wallet. The goal is to notify you of the risks on each token that you have in your wallet.
Right.
And if there's a honeypot in your wallet, where if you run a transaction, it dusts your wallet, you would have that notification. And I'll talk to Ken about this. We would have like the free membership where you get notified, but then there's other features, would be a subscription, right? Paid subscription, where this one could be one of them, where you transfer, where we have it set up where you can transfer the legit tokens into a new wallet. It cannot be manual, because we want to make sure that you choose, we tell you which ones are good, and you choose the ones that you want to transfer. And you go through the wizard, basically, on moving your tokens. If we do that behind the scenes, let's say, we have the ability to move your tokens, because we wouldn't do that. And one of the problems is that it's security, right? Because that's you need to provide the permission to do so. So you have to be connected. You have to choose what you want to move for us to even take an action. We cannot do it automatically. It's security.
Will it be on different chains like Polygon, Harmony, BNB network? Will it go to different ones?
So far, I want to focus on Ethereum network, because that's the majority of where we're in, right, with Saja and a lot of tokens. But I have no problem to do BNB next, because literally BNB is a copy of Ethereum blockchain, right? If you look at BSC, whatever, Binance Scan, their test network, it's exactly the same. You can have the same wallet, just different networks. It's same ERC20 token, just different fees, because they have a different blockchain, different gas amounts, and all that. But those two, I can easily work them, because they're almost a clone of each other. Some differences, but mostly a clone. The other blockchains like Polygon, Harmony, I have not experienced them that much, or I've not actually been in them. But once we get one thing done and get it done right, we can expand. And that's probably what you talked about, features, or the future of Saja, Saja Defender. Those would be the expansion, right? You start with an idea, you test it, you build one feature, and then see how that works. If it works, you extend it, and you build on it, and you keep, you grow it. Take, an example of the phones. 10 years ago, the same phone, the same cell phone that you had, let's say an example, iPhone 3, or over 10 years ago. It's still an iPhone. It's still iOS, but it has expanded, and it keeps getting, more features, better speed, functionality. Same thing in software development. You start off small, and you just keep growing it. So we start off with Ethereum, then we extend to Binance, and then we extend to Polygon, and so on and so forth. You never know. It can definitely change course, right? So there's always going to be changes. We're going to have to adapt. We'll start with one, and see how that works out, and then we'll keep extending, including Saja Seal. Binance is another. A lot of Binance tokens are almost rug pulls. Like, I don't know what the percentage, but it's a lot, right? So now we can help also with Binance projects and make sure that they're legit, because we would be just doing the same thing for Ethereum, and they're not that different. So it's all about one step at a time.
Right. Saja Seal include insurance for loss coverage. What is the liability model?
I don't know in this space, but there isn't any loss coverage. Like, there's nothing that we can do there, right? Just like any crypto projects, it's a risk, right? You get into a project, you're gonna take that risk, whether you lose money or you gain money, or you are up, but then the project, people dump. It does not have to be a rug pull. People just dump because they want to move to another project, or they just want to take their gains and move on. So we cannot cover that, but we can at least minimize the possible of a rug pull as much as we can, so that way, at least when people get into launches, they can have that sense of security, knowing that we did it, that we're not gonna cause a rug pull.
Right.
Especially when you have a developer who has access to the wallets, who can literally take everything, which is not good, and that's what we want to prevent.
Yeah. So to summarize that, it's impossible to make it 100% guaranteed. But what Saja is going to do is to eliminate as much as possible the potential of a scam, of fraud.
Right.
Because, you know, they don't have access to the wallets, and, you know, we're doing like multi-sig wallets and all these other things that we're going to certify. And that's what's going to give such a seal the credibility. Now, in terms of what happens after, that's up to the dev team. We're not managing the project. We're just a third party certifying and verifying doxing. Now, if they got another Ken on the project, maybe it'll work out well. But, you know, it's up to them. It's up to them. And not too many Kens around.
Right. No, it's not too many Kens. No, it's not.
I mean, but this is like a business. If you treat it like a business, it's going to grow like a business. But many people that come into this space and join the team, and you know, they get excited because there's potential to make a lot of money. A lot of people can make money, and it's fun. You know, to many people, it's a hobby. In the beginning, it started out as a hobby for us too, and now it's much more involved than before, and now it's more of a business. But many people come into this space without any prior business experience, and they think this is just a walk in the park. And they, you know, even after they successfully launch a token, they think it's a walk in the park. The hardest part is managing and developing a project. After the first day or two, when you get that initial pump, then you're going to get that sell off. And what do you do after? You got to start showing the community what the team is about. You know, the developments, the marketing, the branding, everything. Every day you got to hit the ground running. You know, you can't take a break. There's no time for breaks. You know, we've been doing projects for 5 months, including TCT, never taken a break. Not even a single day. Even on the weekend, crypto's 24/7. That's what it takes. And
I've been
we face every single challenge, and we're still facing challenges. But we're executing. And you know, that shows by the growth in our membership, the growth in our holders. It's not about the price, because the price will eventually catch up. You know, like Islam was saying, you know, we can't control who's going to sell. There could be a big wallet that sells, and they want to take some profits. It's up to them. You know, it's liquidity, and it's their money. At the same time, if one guy is selling and 10 guys is replacing with volume, you know, that's more healthy for the longer term than just one guy holding a big wallet that's waiting for a huge pump to pump on the community anyway. But you know, it's better to get those paper hands out, you know, get some strong hands in, and smaller strong hands to create the volume. And that's what we're trying to do right now. And I think it's been fairly successful. You know, I know there's a question that I'm looking at, and you know, I think John Yeast keeps asking about like the wildlife organizations and stuff. Maybe he wasn't here when we described it, but that all goes back tying into our mission of helping the lions and supporting the lions. Of course, helping the people, but to speak more about that, yeah, we have formed official partnerships with credible organizations. And I was telling the chat today that, you know, I jumped on the call with the Lion Whisperer. You know, there's a couple other ones that we're working with, that we're engaging. We started engaging. It takes time, but so far we have the official partnership with the WCN, with the Lion Recovery Fund. You know, they're supported by organizations like the DiCaprio Foundation, Disney. You know, these aren't small guys. You know, they get $5 to $10 million in donations a year. These are one of the most credible organizations, and they did extreme vetting on our projects. That's why it took about a month and a half for me to even get in the door with these organizations. But the persistence paid off. You know, I showed them what our project is about, how serious we are. You know, we made the initial donation to show the commitment, and now we have their complete trust and the official partnership. And that's what I intend to do with the other big organizations, like the Kevin Richardson Foundation, who's a Lion Whisperer. I mean, that's huge exposure and visibility. If you get that connection, you know, it's going to be very good. And not only in supporting the lions, but supporting the humans in our project.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to create extreme exposure. And that leads to much bigger exposures, you know. big people like it when you're helping. Like I'm
Correct.
talking about like A-list celebrities,
Mhm.
like TV personalities.
Yep.
And it's not out of the question that sometime in the near future, we're going to be linking up with one of those. We're going to get that, we're going to catch their attention. And, that's the real goal with, hooking up with these organizations and being helpful and creating utility by, sending the charity and the donations. And in return, with the good karma, we get the visibility and we get the exposure. And over time, I think we're going to catch the attention of the big boys, like the celebrities and those guys that support, like I was telling you about, the DiCaprio Foundation.
Mm.
Let's get Leonardo on board. We got to get in front of him. Got to get in front of Ellen, who's a supporter of the LRF, the Lion Recovery Fund.
That's very true.
Yeah, I mean, we have aligned interests, so why not, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's human. And, whether you're worth $100 or $100 million, and if they support the same cause, we already have something in common. And, again, I think big when I think about these collaborations. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I'm not thinking small. Small things lead to big things, just like the Saja Seal, the Saja Defender. And to answer John's question, collaborations with these major organizations, we already got into one of them with official partnership. I'm very proud of that achievement. And I had an extremely good call with the Lion Whisperer, Kevin Richardson, the representative for him this morning. And we're definitely going to pursue further engagement. Very excited about that. So I hope that answers your question, John.
I think it answered more in that and more.
Yeah, I saw him like writing like 3 times on like the chats and stuff. So I wanted to just disclose that information.
I think it's kind of like everything. I think people are afraid. They got questions about these things because, like you said, and I think the Saja Defender and Saja Seal is supposed to help with the not only transparency, but with the safety and security and going forward. And I'm hoping in the future, we be having these conversations different conversations, not just about, hey, I want to keep my stuff safe. I'm afraid of rug pulls. I'm afraid of honeypots. We'll be talking about other things moving forward down the line in terms of the roadmap. So I'm excited, man. You're right, though. You an idea, you're thinking as a business. Like, this is a business. This is not just a token. This is like a business, a movement to really impact other people and lions.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah, monetize offer services, help people, help lions along the way. Everyone's happy.
Yeah. Any extra thoughts you guys want to before we sign out?
So, we welcome anyone into our community. We have a very welcome community in our Telegram. Please come check us out. Check us out. Check out the website. We have a beautiful website. We have a very nice website team. And, if anyone is thinking about these kind of services, please reach out to us. And, the consultation, there's no cost for consultation. Consultation is free and it will be confidential. So anyone that has thoughts about our services, please reach out to us anytime.
Absolutely. And sir, would you like to say anything?
I think Ken covered it. So
you said a lot about the defender and the safety and security, and you're right. People be hitting you up all the time about checking contractors and things like that. So it's time for the
right.
Yeah, and it's
so
time.
It's time how do we benefit our project from that, right? Leveraging off Islam's experience, because we're getting hit up so many times. Like, people would hit me up too. Now I'm like, I'm not gonna recommend you to my dev. It's gonna take time away from Saja, right? If there's no benefit to us, if anything, it could backfire, right? Because you're associated with bad people that could actually rug pull, and you can't control all that. You don't have complete control over the launch.
Right.
But if you certify something and you make it a service where you separate as a third party, like, you know, one of the guys was asking, like, how do we insure against liability? We don't, because after we insure and deliver the services that we say we're going to deliver, it's up to the dev team of the actual project to carry it forward. But
Right.
it's not going to be, you know, we eliminate the potential of rugs and honeypots and, you know, dev wallet selling, marketing wallet selling, all the usual suspects that turned a good project into a scam. So, you know, that's what we insure, but we can't insure against profits that you're going to make profits, or the dev team's going to have the persistence or the diligence to continue with the project. You know, we just insure a safe deployment and a safe contract and a verified team. That's our service. That's our service. So that'll earn the Saja seal, which means that this token is credible. So you don't have to worry about at least like rug pulls or like those usual suspects.
And thank you, Danny Finance. Absolutely. The Saja team is amazing. And I can't wait to continue doing more of these type of conversations, best practices. And thank you guys for just coming on here and explaining this. And I think the next time, maybe we'll talk about more things, more developments, more partnerships, more different things that's going with the Saja Defender. So
Yeah,
anything go ahead.
Especially now that, you know, I'm getting away from all the people trying to reach out to me and taking my time. Now we have, you know, one goal as a team on how to do things. And on top of that, that gives us that gives me the ability to focus on Saja Defender, because now, you know, we do the Saja service, which takes time, you know, to docs and verify everything. But in between, then I can start working on Saja Defender and making sure, you know, get something out there to show to people. It doesn't have to be pretty, but the functionality, we need to start somewhere, right? And then build it.
Yes, please, for everybody. Yes, he needs his time, guys. Just don't leave him alone. Right. Definitely. So
I do have one last word before we depart.
Sure.
You know, in light of what's been happening, very unfortunate, a lot of rug victims, a lot of scam victims. You know, we do have a lot of giveaways going on through our community. You know, our actual community is contributing to the giveaway. You know, the Saja project is contributing to the giveaway, especially for the holidays. There's some amazing giveaways. So any rug pull victims, you know, please come check us out in our Telegram, and hopefully, you know, we can help out and show some value.
Absolutely. We have the Telegram link in the bottom of this video right here, this description. And I can also put it in the chat as well, the Telegram. Let me put it in there right now. So I'm going to copy, paste it there. I'll pin it at the top as well. So you should see it. And you should see yep, it's there now. So join the Telegram, introduce yourself, and go from there, just like what Ken said.
Yep. I'm always active in the Telegram, so I'll be the first one to say hi to anyone that comes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'll say hello as well. I mean, it's a great community, guys, and they care about each other. And I can't wait until more things come out. People talking about, you know, 2000 on Pottery Inu. It's time. It's time for this. It's just time.
So it's the right thing to do. Yeah, like you said, it's time. We're all tired of rug pulls. We're all tired of, you know, a lot of people thought, oh, I'm going to get into crypto and make a lot of money and quit my job.
Yep.
It's not that easy.
Yep. That's usually the mindset. And now we got to keep things secure and safe and transparency going forward.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And until next time, we'll see you later.
All right.
Okay. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.